I am the Great Mighty Poo, and this is the podcast you should listen to. It might sound really lame, but I'm sure to give them fame. How about a chat, you little twats? I'm Chris Marlow, and you're listening to Sola and Cola.
Hei og velkommen til en ny episode av Sola og Cola. Mitt navn er Sola, og i dag har vi som vanlig med oss vår faste co-host.
Ebola,
Ja,
så dere vet hvem er.
ja. Du skiftet jo navn i forrige episode igjen.
Gjorde jeg det?
Du gjorde det. Stemmer det?
Jeg tror jeg heter E-Coke og E-Coco og
Ja,
alt mulig.
Du bytter navn hele tiden.
Ja, det var litt variasjon, vet du.
Ja, det er jo sant. Og så har vi også med
Kanskje
oss...
kanskje bli like kjedelige som dere. Nei, bare tøyse.
Ja, alle er kjedelige fordi at de bytter ikke navn hver dag. Og så har vi selvfølgelig med oss en person som ikke har skiftet navn siden sist, og det er...
Erik André Olsen.
Nei. Ja, ok.
Ja, han jobber bare, han vet du. Han er jo ikke...
Nei, stemmer det. Nei, vi har jo selvfølgelig med oss Thomas.
Hallo!
Så kjekt å ha deg med igjen.
Ja, det var kjekt å komme igjen.
Ja. Jeg måtte jo invitere deg, siden du var jo med på en special feature som vi kommer til å avslutte denne podcasten med. Ja! Som er... Hva er det du holder på med?
Luft i magen.
Vi har drukket alt for mye cola, vet du, så...
Luft i magen skal du kjeft.
Men det passer bra med temaet vi skal snakke om, fordi det
Ja.
er litt mye pottehumor.
Det er sant.
Stemmer det.
Denne episoden her er rett og slett en spesialepisode om Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Veldig kule.
Ja. Så vi kommer ikke til å snakke så veldig mye mer om akkurat det, egentlig. Det blir litt snakk om Conker's Bad Fur Day og remaken, og litt Conker generelt. Og så avslutter vi med et 50 minutters langt intervju med Chris Marlow, som er stemmen til Great Mighty Poo, og har også arbeidet på spillet. Så det er et ganske interessant intervju. Så hvis du ser videoversjonen, altså YouTube-versjonen av podcasten, så vil du da få se videoversjonen av intervjuet.
Men bare så dere vet det, vi sitter nakne her på videoversjonen.
Ja, det er derfor første delen av podcasten ikke er i video, er fordi at vi er nakne, selvfølgelig.
Vi måtte sensurere det.
Ja, det er veldig varmt her ennå.
Ja, vi vurderte å laste det opp på Pornhub i stedet fordi at det er blitt ganske populært nå.
De liker å streame som naken-podcaster da.
Ja, jeg har sett mye av det.
Vi må bruke badstue fordi det er litt bedre lyd og rekorder her.
Ja, det synes jeg også.
Og så er det puss også når du svetter.
Ja, nå, vet du hva? vet du hva? Conker's Bad Fur Day. Det er jo et spill som originalt kom på Nintendo 64.
Veldig sent.
Ja, veldig sent. Det kom ut i 2001.
Nei, det kom på Xbox.
Det kom ut på Xbox også, men det kommer vi til siden. Men ja, Conker's Bad Fur Day til Nintendo 64, lagd av Rare, selvfølgelig.
Ja, kjent ut.
Ja.
Er det kjent?
Det er ganske dyrt. Det koster sånn 2000 kroner bare for karten. Så, og når det kom ut originalt, så kostet det var et av de dyreste Nintendo 64-spill når det kom ut originalt også. Det kostet...
Det er ironisk med tanke på at det er lagt av Rare.
Ja, ikke sant?
Jeg betalte 800 for det når det var nytt, tror jeg.
Ja, det var billig, for jeg husker at det kostet 1000 kroner, husker jeg det kostet.
Det var jo sånn slutten av Nintendo 64, så de ville vel bare kvitte seg med alle spillene.
Ja, fortsatt dyrt.
I mening. Hvis jeg hadde hatt penger på den tid, så hadde jeg kjøpt det til 800 kroner, for det er et kongespill.
Det er verdt å ha i Nintendo 64-samlingen.
Det er derfor vi har den spesialepisoden om Conker. Det er fordi at det er et helt unikt spill som alle burde oppleve.
Det minner til South Park.
Det er plattformer, bare det i 3D. Så det er...
Bare det i 3D.
Nei, men greia med spillet at det er et plattformspill med masse humor. Det er basically veldig inspirert av South Park. Og Evola, du kan jo komme veldig for kort. Veldig for kort. Du kan komme med en veldig kort forklaring på hvordan dette spillet kom til verden. Fordi at det er ganske interessant med tanke på at
Ja, i starten så var det jo egentlig et litt annet spill som heter Conker 64. Eller 12 Tales Conker 64.
Ja.
Og det var jo egentlig da et finished spill, som var ganske inspirert av Super Mario 64. Men av en merkelig grunn så valgte de ikke å gå med det, og de var så sjalu på Banjo-teamet.
Ja, for det var flere team internt i og Rare.
Så Conker-teamet, de synes Banjo spiller seg mye bedre ut. Så de valgte da å starte fra botten av.
Ja, de bare scrappa spillet.
Ja,
Var det ikke fordi
et helt ferdig spill.
Ja.
Var det ikke fordi de følte det var litt for likt?
Jo, det er også for likt.
Banjo-Kazooie-spillet,
Ja.
de tenkte de ville heller...
Og de syntes Banjo spiller seg bedre ut og alt sånt.
Ja, rett og slett.
Og så fikk de en Kresiver, så da jobbet med Killer Instinct og ja, eneste jeg kom på han har jobbet med.
Ja,
Altså han tok over da som game director
og writer også.
og writer, ja, sammen med
Ja.
Robin Beelan, som også er composer. Så da lagde de et helt nødt Conker-spill som mye mer adult humor.
Ja.
Og toilet humor, det ligger med. Det har vi jo alltid her, så...
Ja.
Ja.
Fordi at han hadde en veldig spesiell humor, han Chris
Ja,
Marlow.
for mye av det i spillet er jo tatt fra filmer og sånn.
Ja, masse filmreferanser.
Så du har jo for eksempel Terminator i spillet,
Ja.
ganske early on.
Alien.
Alien, ja, Saving Private Ryan, Matrix og alt det.
Ja.
Så hvis du liker film, så liker du nok spillet også, tror jeg.
Masse filmreferanser og masse tullete humor
Ja, ja.
og banning og alt det der.
Og det er jo verdt å spille også for cutscenes, så
Ja.
det er jo et av det største med spillet.
Ja, det synes jeg jo.
Ja.
Jeg føler liksom at når Chris Sear kom inn i bildet,
Ja.
så han hadde et eller annet med seg, sånn han hadde en slags visjon, føler jeg,
Ja, ja.
som...
Mye av det er parodier og...
Ja, fordi at han gjorde så mye. Han var liksom director for spillet, han skrev spillet, han
voice-acta alt
voice-acta nesten alle karakterene i hele spillet, voice-acta med masse forskjellige rare stemmer.
Utenom kvinnene, tror jeg.
Ja, utenom det, og selvfølgelig Great Mighty Poo.
Stemmer det, som jeg har et intervju om.
Når var første gang du spilte Conker spill for deg?
Jeg har ikke peiling, kanskje litt etterpå det kom ut. 2002-2003, kanskje.
Ja.
På Nintendo 64.
Det var da du kjøpte det?
Ja, rundt den tida.
Ja.
Det var jo fortsatt dyrt da, men ja, det var verdt det. For jeg så jo mye på South Park også den tida, husker jeg South Park-filmen for eksempel.
Ja.
Og humoren er helt likt.
Ja, det er sant det.
Så jeg tror de fleste av oss likte South Park på den tida. Så,
Ja,
da
jeg føler,
jo
det,
Conker.
jeg føler at humor til Conker spill før det er en slags britisk versjon av
Ja,
South Park, på en
Det
måte.
er det.
Ja.
Det er ganske...
Blander med sånn britisk humor, liksom.
Jeg husker jeg også spilte det da jeg var ganske ung, fordi en kompis hadde Nintendo 64 og hadde Banjo-Kazooie-spill, og
Ja.
så husker jeg foreldrene kjøpte det sånn, fordi på en eller annen merkelig måte så trodde de det var tredje spillet til Banjo-Kazooie-spillet.
Jesus.
Så når vi begynte å spille, så var det jo en 3D-plattform, og
Ja.
så
Helt
hvorfor ikke?
unexpected.
Ja.
Men det føltes litt.
Det er ganske raunchy at de fikk lov til å gi det ut på Nintendo 64, egentlig.
Ja, det tok litt tid og overbevisning.
Ja,
Så
men
vidt
de
jeg
ble
vet.
faktisk overbevist.
Ja.
Og det er ganske sykt, egentlig.
Jeg tror Nintendo endelig bare gitt opp. Og...
Men jeg husker vi spilte det, og vi likte det, og
Ja.
Ja,
selv om vi ikke helt forsto alt som skjedde.
ja, ikke sant?
Likte bandinger på det.
Hvor gammel var du cirka, tror du?
8-9 år.
Oi, det var litt tidlig.
Var vel rundt den alderen vi også når vi spilte.
Wow. Vet du hva? Første gang jeg spilte spillet, da var jeg cirka
20.
13 eller 14 år.
Ja,
Og
noe
første
sånt.
gang jeg spilte det. For at jeg eide aldri spillet. Fordi det var dyrt. Jeg hadde alltid lyst på det. Fordi det var et spill jeg visste om. Jeg visste om det helt siden det kom ut. Fordi jeg var stor fan av Rare generelt.
Det var begge, vet du.
Ja. Jeg har jo liksom Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Diddy Kong Racing, liksom.
Jeg runder alle de.
Ja, nesten alle de spillene eide jeg, liksom. Og Runa, selvfølgelig.
Ja.
Uten Diddy Kong Racing, det aller siste bare. Men ja, uansett. Ja, jeg spilte da på emulator, som er litt fy-fy, men liksom
Project 64.
spillet var helt umulig å få tak i
Ja.
da, og liksom
Må jo skite, vet du.
Ja, jeg ville spille da. Så jeg hørte om emulator, og anskaffet meg det da på litt ikke helt lovlig vis, men herregud for en opplevelse det var. Det var morsomt fra start til slutt, og det var liksom jeg lo sånn jeg grein når jeg spilte det spillet. en opplevelse jeg aldri har fått av et videospill før. Og jeg tror ikke jeg har spilt et spill som er så morsomt etter det heller. Vet du om et annet humorspill utenom South Park-spillene, for det har jeg ikke spilt. Det
Som faktisk kan få
For helt ærlig, så synes jeg humoren har aget.
Ja, det er kanskje det.
Ja, humoren har aget litt, men jeg mener heller liksom, er det andre humorspill som du kommer på?
Andre spill som har vært morsomme.
Ja. Spill som fokuserer veldig på humor.
Tenker du spill for den tida, eller?
Nei,
Helt etterpå.
snart kommet etterpå.
Jeg vet det er veldig mange spill som har lik type humor, men jeg kommer
jeg
ikke på i farten.
Jeg kom bare på de 2 South Park-spillene.
Ja, de nyeste Sola spillene.
Ja.
Herregud.
Jeg tror nesten du kan sammenligne mest med de nye Starbucks-spill.
Ja, det er jo like humor.
Ja, så hvis du liker de spillene, så kommer du sikkert til å ligge Conker Bad for deg også.
Jeg har lyst til å
Bare ikke
like-
spill de Starbucks-spillene som kom ut på den tida.
Nei,
Nei,
Uff,
ikke
nei.
spill de.
Sola Park, Mario Kart-greiene. Det kan
Ja.
jeg bare glemme.
Det var ikke så veldig bra, det der
Ja,
snøballkastningsspillet.
Og hvorfor snakker vi ikke om det på PlayStation? Fordi jeg husker faktisk det spillet.
Det er for dårlig.
Det skal vi snakke om.
Odin hadde det.
Å, herregud.
Odin hadde jo alt.
Møkkaspill. Men jeg kommer ikke på noen andre humorspill.
Nei, ikke jeg heller, egentlig.
Jeg har lyst til å si Yakuza.
Ja, Yakuza, ja.
Yakuza har vel en del humor, men føler du at det er et rent humorspill, eller er det litt seriøst i dag?
Mainstoryen er ikke fokuset på den humoren, men med en gang du går og gjør alle disse sidequestene, så er det jo bare humor og tull.
Comedy games, humorist.
Skal vi se, vi har jo Deadpool-spillet.
Men,
Det har jeg
Spill.
Jeg har spilt med seg et let's play av det. Det spillet er faktisk ganske morsomt. Det er faktisk veldig artig, men selve gameplay-messig så er det litt tamt, for å være helt ærlig.
Jeg vet ikke, jeg tenker egentlig bare på Grand Theft Auto. Sånn så, eller nei, GTA 2 kom jo før det, stemmer.
Ja,
Men GTA
Gamle GTA-spiller er ganske
Ja.
humorbasert.
GTA 2 i hvert fall.
ja det er sant.
Ganske humor.
Å, det som er på Wii. No More Heroes.
Stemmer det nummer her?
Det er jo litt sånn dritthumor, bæsjehumor.
Ja, det er litt humor.
Det er
ja,
ganske
det er sant.
hidden gem, det.
Men det er litt sånn action-comedy-greier. Men jeg føler at det,
Så-
det er heller ikke helt der.
Og så har du House of the Dead Overkill på Wii. Det
Kan vi-
er også hevet inn bare masse pissehumor.
Kan vi
Ah,
Portal?
Og det spillet er fortsatt kjent for å ha mest bruk av ordet fuck.
Nice.
ja.
Hva med Portal-spiller? Er ikke det humor i det òg?
Jo, jeg tenker på The Stanley Parable. Det er jo
Ja.
Det er veldig sånn humorspill.
Ja.
Det er ikke for spilt det, beklager. Jeg må få spilt det snart, men har-
Saints Row.
ja.
Saints Row, ja, selvfølgelig.
Ja, det er jo veldig humorspill.
Ja.
Det er jo basically GTA bare med
Ja.
mye
Ja.
mer humor.
Ja,
Over til topp.
ja. Så det har kommet noen sånn humorspill siden da,
Ja.
som er genuint sånn LOL.
Men
for å si det sånn.
ikke heavily basert, sånn som Conker, tror jeg.
Nei, The Stanley Parable er veldig der, da. Det er veldig, veldig meta. Det samme med Deadpool òg.
Ja.
Veldig, veldig meta og veldig morsomt.
Kanskje Ratchet & Clank.
Nei.
Da pleier å ha litt humor, det òg.
Ja,
Men
vet ikke. Det er ikke helt der
Nei,
Conker
det
er,
er
føler jeg.
det er ikke likt.
Det er liksom Det er som med Banjo-Kazooie òg.
Ja,
det,
ja.
det, det, er et
Det
veldig
har sånn litt
det er veldig morsom dialog, men det er ikke helt Det er ikke,
Nei.
det er ikke et 100% humorspill, vil jeg si.
Nei.
Det heller. Men Deadpool vil jeg si er et humorspill, og The Stanley Parable vil jeg si er et humorspill, i alle fall. Jeg har ikke spilt Saints Row-spillene utenom det der dårlige spin-off-spillet.
Ja, det vi spilte her.
Ja, fy faen.
God of Hell. eller?
Ja, det er et av de dårligste spillene jeg har spilt.
Ja, de
Det er
prøver
sånn
å-
Supermann 64 vi bare over det nesten.
Tror du drar
Ok,
det
ikke
så langt
helt
du kan.
der, men det var
Det var bare ikke langt.
wow. Det
Hva med
var
Octodad?
dårlig. Octodad, ja, det vil jeg
Det
si.
er jo humorspill.
Det vil jeg si
Det
et
er humor på
humorspill.
grunn av kontrollen.
Ja,
Fysikken.
ja.
Og om dere har spilt Getting Over
Ja, det er jo
Ja,
humorspill.
ja det vil jeg si er humorspill, siden det er liksom
Ja, i den
Ja.
potta.
Når jævla folkene kjøpte det til mens han var hos meg, så
Å, herregud.
tvang han meg til å spille det. Satt jeg der og stresste så faen. Han bare satt og grein av latter. Jeg kom så jævlig høyt opp, så plutselig så bare gjorde jeg et eller annet med musen, så slo han seg langt ned igjen. Så måtte jeg alt på nytt igjen.
Det er jo samme creatoren av Kvop, vet du.
Av
Kvop.
Kvop, ja.
Du husker jo Kvop?
Er det samme?
Er det samme folk som hadde kopp?
Ja, det er samme dun som lagde det.
Det visste jeg faktisk ikke.
Det er jo like folkekontroller også,
Ja, det er jo ganske interessant. Det visste jeg faktisk ikke.
Koppfiske vi spilte mye.
Ja, det husker jeg spilte mye på ungdomsskolen.
Ja.
Worms, ja, det er jo litt
Worms,
humor.
Ja, Worms har jo litt humor, men jeg vil ikke si at det er et humorspill det heller. Det har noen
Da husker
kule
jeg
one-liners.
Worms Armageddon på PC med ekstra lydpakker.
Jeg husker ikke det litt.
Nei, jeg tror ikke det, men jeg spilte mye Worms Armageddon på PC, det gjorde jeg.
Jeg tror jeg har spilt med Ace Ventura hele tiden. Det var så jævla bra.
Lydeffektene fra Ace Ventura. Alrighty then.
Yep.
Ja. Nei, men uansett, tilbake til Conker's Bad for deg. Liksom, ja, det er fortsatt et av de beste humorspillene jeg har spilt.
Ja.
Og
kanskje et av de mest kultbaserte spill.
Ja.
En kultklassiker.
Ja, det er en kultklassiker.
Det har stor following.
Ja, jeg føler at det... Nei, jeg vil ikke si det er en hidden gem, men jeg føler at alt for få folk har spilt det spillet, føler jeg.
Det har stor kultfollowing for det.
Ja, for jeg føler at liksom, jeg føler nesten alle som liker South Park både liksom har spilt Conker, liksom, føler jeg. De har i hvert fall prøvd det, synes jeg. Fordi at jeg tror veldig mange av de folk hadde likt spillet.
Ja, det er fullført spill, helt ærlig.
Har du ikke?
Nei.
Det er ikke så mange som har gjort det.
Jeg fullførte flere ganger.
Nice. Men det er ikke mange som har fullført det, vet jeg.
Nei, for det har noen seksjoner som er litt vanskelig.
Ja.
For å si det sånn, du sitter litt fast i.
Undervannsseksjonen kan være litt vanskelig.
Ja, og så slett jeg litt med den der Dracula-delen, husker jeg.
Ja, stemmer det opp på toppen her. Ja, det er jævla vanskelig da.
Jeg tror ikke jeg kom så langt.
Ja, musikken i spillet
det gjelder bra.
er utrolig bra.
Robin Beanland, vet du.
Ja, Robin Beanland, han har jo også jobbet på jeg holdt på å si Kinect Sports. det er vel...
Ja, han har jo det.
Ja, og så Sea of Thieves.
Det gjelder bra piratmusikk i hvert fall.
Ja.
Legit instrumenter for den tida.
Han var jo selvfølgelig også med og jobbet på Donkey Kong Country 1.
Han hadde bare en sang da.
Ja,
den sangen skulle egentlig være med på Killer Instinct.
Ja, stemmer det.
Så han jobbet jo med Killer Instinct og Blast Corps. Nei, ikke Blast Corps. Goldeneye, tror jeg først.
Ja, han lagde musikken til Killer Instinct 1 sammen med han Graham Norgate.
Stemmer det.
Så lagde han musikken helt selv for
Blast Corps.
Killer Instinct 2 og Killer Instinct Gold. Han var med og lagde musikken på GoldenEye.
Ja, stemmer det.
Han var med og lagde musikken til Jet Force Gemini.
Stemmer det.
Og
du sa Jet Force.
Jet Force Gemini, ja.
Ja, Jet Force Gemini. Og så lagde han også musikken til
Cameo? Nei, det var ikke han da.
Donkey Kong 64.
Nei, det var Grand Coco.
Var det?
Hva du sa for noe, Thomas?
Donkey Kong 74, men det var Grand Coco.
Ja, det er sant. Var han involvert i Donkey Kong 64?
Nei, jeg tror ikke det.
Nei.
Det var Graham Norgate som lagde Blast Corps-musikken, ja, stemmer.
Ja. Ja, og så var han også bitte litt med å lage musikk i Nuts and Bolts.
Ja.
Han hadde noen sanger til deg.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Nei, men det er et bra spill egentlig, vil jeg si.
Ja, utenom hvis de ikke hadde brukt Banjo-lisensen, så...
Det er sant.
Grafisk er det veldig kult.
Ja. De har modifisert Viva Pinata-enginen.
Og så lagde han også musikken til alles favorittspill fra Rare. It's Mr. Pants.
Å, herregud.
Han var med å lage musikk til det.
Det er så Lil Love Day kom på.
Jeg har aldri spilt.
Jeg har det. Jeg har 2 kopier av det.
Det er så jævlig random spill.
Hva er konsol det på?
Game of Dance.
Stemmer
det. Det spillet skulle originalt være et Donkey Kong-spill. Men så ble det jo... Nintendo solgte jo Rare. Altså skjermene de hadde i Rare, og da ble det heller et Mr. Pants-spill i stedet for. Som var sånn tullekarakter. Som var med i nyhetsbrevet til Rare og sånne ting.
Diddy Kong Racing skulle egentlig være RC Pro-Am 64.
Skulle det? Kult.
Men Nintendo ville jo... Eller nei, jeg tror de anbefalte, eller Shigeru Miyamoto anbefalte de å bruke Donkey Kong eller noe lisensen. Så da kom de på Diddy Kong, vet du, fra Donkey Kong Country.
Ja, det er jo kult. Det som er litt artig med Diddy Kong er at Conker er faktisk med i Diddy Kong Racing.
Banjo også.
Er han ikke han egentlig da som den originale Conker-karakteren?
Han er basert på Conker fra spillet som aldri kom på 64, det som ble scrapped.
12 Tales,
ja. Men det kom jo også et Conker-spill på Game Boy Color før Conker spilte for deg.
Pocket Tales,
Ja, Pocket Tales. Det skulle egentlig være en companion til 64-spillet.
Ja.
Men 64-spillet kom aldri.
Så
i stedet for liksom, det er jo helt merkelig å tenke på at du har Conkersen er med i Diddy Kong Racing for å promotere et spill som aldri kommer ut.
Ja.
Og Conkers Pocket Talesen er der som en companion til et spill som aldri kommer.
Men egentlig så har vi fått det originale Conker-spillet som egentlig skulle komme. Lucky's Tale.
Stemmer det.
Det er jo egentlig basically det Conker-spillet som egentlig skulle komme.
Ja, det er ganske ulikt sånn gameplay-messig, men det er jo et plattformspill, så I guess.
Det er jo ganske løye at Banjo også er med i Diddy Kong Racing, mens Banjo var i development.
Ja, det er sant. For begge spillene var i development når spillet kom ut. Har dere en spesiell seksjon dere liker best i Conker Spell for deg?
Jeg liker den med en ku og så drit.
Ganske brutale greier da.
Nasty kanskje, men.
Ja, nasty også.
Den mest ikoniske delen for meg er vel Great Mighty Poo.
Ja, la oss snakke litt om Great Mighty Poo.
Jeg liker jo den der seksjonen med...
Nei, vi skal snakke om Great Mighty Poo.
Ja, Ebola, husj. Neida.
Jeg liker når de der naziene kommer, nazi-teddybjørnene. Teddys.
Ja, selvfølgelig.
Og du skyter de med 2 maskinpistoler.
Det er så mange kule karakterer i spillet. Har dere en favorittkarakter av sånne side-characters? Utenom Great Mighty Poo, selvfølgelig.
Jeg liker
Skamsler.
Ja, jeg skal ikke si det.
Han er kul.
Mr. Scarecrow-Purdy. You got any Mepsi Packs? Han er jo koselig. Vi kaller jo Pepsi Maxene for Mepsi Packs på grunn av Conker. Ja, vi gjør jo det.
Du serverte jo han Mepsi Packs.
Det gjorde jeg faktisk. Når vi hadde intervju med han, så serverte jeg han Mepsi Packs og sier det. Det synes jeg var litt sånn artig.
You want any Mepsi Packs?
Jeg lurer på hva min favorittkatt er. Jeg tror kanskje fugleskremse det. Og så liker jeg veldig godt han...
Generalen.
Jeg liker han der Weasel-fyren. Hva er det for noe?
Weasel-fyren.
Jeg husker den delen med blomsten med de svære tidser.
Eller bien, så han som bare fucker deg opp hele tiden. That bitch threw me out.
Jeg husker den delen. Og også denne delen med den hva heter den? Han som henger seg selv. Jåen som henger. Er det jå?
Ja, stemmer det.
Og så finner han ut at han har ikke nakke.
You fucking idiot.
Ja, stemmer det.
Så må du kutte han ned. Litt spoilers, men
ja, det er utrolig løye.
Jeg tenker meg at det er mye bra i det spillet.
Ja, det er utrolig mange artige karakterer i det spillet. Og så, nei, vet du hva? Nå kom jeg på min favoritt. Er jo selvfølgelig Greg
the Great Mighty Poo,
ja.
Du vet ikke hva han er inspirert av?
Det er
ikke navnet.
Av Greg Miles. Ja.
Det er inspirert av han Chris Marlow på gameplay-videoen. Han hater jo katter, vet du. Fucking cats is shit and piss.
Av de sidekarakterene i spillet, så er det min favoritt.
Ja, han er jævlig bra.
Han er utrolig morsom.
Jeg klarer ikke å forestille meg at Greg Miles er sånn i RL utenom studio, men tydeligvis er han sånn.
Ja, det er jo en parodi på han, liksom.
Ja, ifølge Chris Marlow er han sånn når han ikke er på jobb.
Ja.
Jævlig bra.
Ja, men han får du faktisk se når du dør i spillet. Første gang du dør, liksom, så bare kommer du til en helt ny plass, og du bare tenker, what the fuck? Så får du forklart hvordan livssystemet fungerer på en veldig meta-måte. Skikkelig meta, liksom.
Ja, stemmer. Det der de paroderer det med ekstra liv i
Jævlig bra.
Så får du møte en av de morsomste karakterene i spillet når du dør, liksom.
Ja, det er ganske bra.
Så liksom, hvis du aldri dør i spillet, så er det litt dumt, egentlig, for da får du aldri møte han.
En av de beste karakterene får du aldri møte han.
Ja, ikke sant? Så hvis du dør, så får du noe bra, liksom.
Ja.
En utrolig kul cutscene.
Du vil liksom dø hele tiden.
En annen karakter jeg synes er morsom, er han der oppfinneren til han der.
Ja, det var det han jeg mente, han Weasel-fyren.
Ja, det er han,
ja.
Jeg tror du mente The Weasel, så det bandet i baren.
Nei, jeg tenkte på han der, han som er med mye, vet du, han oppfinneren.
Altså chocolate, altså fikk en window with that.
Ja, han synes jeg var veldig artig.
Han som skal fikse bordet som...
Ja, det er så absurd, han der Panther-kingen, han trenger et jævla ekorn for å grunn av bordet hans, for at melken dette av, for det mangler et av de beina til bordet.
Ja, sier professoren at han trenger en squirrel til å fikse.
Ja, for det er riktig størrelse.
Ja.
Det er ikke sånn sykest referans.
Ja, litt random.
Den kuleste referansen i hele spillet er jo egentlig hele spillet seg selv.
Ja.
Det er jo parodi på Clockwork Orange.
Ja,
stemmer det.
Selvfølgelig.
I begynnelsen, vet du.
Ikke sikkert så mange som er klar over det.
Conker King.
Clockwork Orange er jo en av mine favorittfilmer, så utrolig kult.
Den visste jo meg med en gang når vi ser det, så.
Ja.
Well, there I am. Conker the king. King of all the land. Who'd have thought that? But how did I come to this, I hear you say? And who are those strange fellows that surround my throne? I hear you also say. Well, it's a long story. Come closer, and I'll tell you. It all started yesterday. What a day that was. It's what I call a bad fur day.
Men vi kan jo det er jo ikke så veldig avansert den handlingen i spillet, men det er jo basically Conker drikker seg drita full, og han finner ikke veien igjen, basically, og så blir damen hans kidnappet, fordi at Panterkongen trenger en nytt bein til bordet sitt, så må du redde henne liksom i tillegg. Så møter du veldig mange
koselige karakterer.
Ja, unike karakterer, for å si det sånn. Men jeg har lyst til å snakke litt om The Great Mighty Poo, som er en av de
beste karakterene.
En av de beste bosskampene ever, i alle fall en av de mest unike og rareste bosskampene noensinne.
Litt rar og unik. Spill kan du tenke hvor du slåss mot en bæsj.
Ja, du slåss mot en gigantisk bæsj som synger opera, og så skal du kaste dopapir i kjeften hans for å bekjempe han. Og så avslutter det med at du må trekke ned
dassen.
Liksom, det er jo helt... What the fuck?
Og den toppen av fjellet du klatrer, det er dassen det, vet du.
Ja, ikke sant? Wow!
Det er unikt.
Ja, så hiver han bæsj på deg.
Ja.
Det er... Hva tenkte dere første gang dere opplevde det i spillet?
Jeg satt som et stort spørsmålstegn, og jeg synes det var artig og litt å le.
Det er liksom... Og så synger han opera, liksom, mens du slåss han. Mens du slåss mot han, så det er liksom... Sangen går gjennom hele bosskampen, liksom. Og så har han nye vers for hver fase du tar av han.
Det er en veldig unexpected boss på den tiden når du var unge, husker jeg.
Ja. Det er jo...
Forventet det ikke.
Jeg har enda ikke spilt en bosskamp noensinne etter det.
Som like weird, liksom.
Som like weird og like morsom som den bosskampen der.
Nei, ikke jeg heller, tror jeg.
Ja. Jeg hørte at det var en bosskamp i det nye Rabbids-spillet.
Mario Rabbids,
ja. Som inspirerte det. Da har du visst en sånn her operasyngende kanin-boss i spillet, som Grant Kirkhoff har lagt musikken på, faktisk. Han sitter ikke på dass, men det er inspirert av Great Mighty Poo, da. Det er jo litt artig, men jeg tror ikke den bosskampen er like morsom.
Eller like memorable.
The Great Mighty Poo. Nei. Men jeg har hørt at den skal være ganske memorable, den kampen, da.
Ja, det er jo viktig, da.
Ja, spesielt for de som ikke har opplevd The Great Mighty Poo. Så får de en barneversjon av det da. I Rabbids pluss Mario, eller whatever det heter.
Det er like så greit, det.
Ja, det er kult.
Ja.
Så Legacyen går videre.
Mhm.
Vet du hva, det er litt artig at bror min eide faktisk Conkers Pocket Tales og Game Boy Color, faktisk. Så jeg har faktisk nostalgi for det Conker-spillet.
Det var ikke mange som eide det.
Nei?
Jeg har spilt litt på via en flashkart, faktisk.
Ja. Jeg synes ikke det spillet var så veldig bra, men jeg husker jo
var jo
musikken da. Den der
Ja, den der skogmusikken. Det er jo originale musikken fra 12 Trace også, da, vet du.
Ja, for det var jo, den musikken var jo inspirert av 64-spillet.
Kosemusikk på det.
Så får du sånn chiptunes-versjon av musikken fra 64-spillet som aldri kom ut.
Ja, funker greit, det.
Ganske kult. Jeg liker det.
Ja.
Jeg liker musikken. Jeg er ikke så veldig glad i spillet, for veldig ærlig. Det er sånn der merkelig top-down spill, sånn Zelda-inspirert greier.
Fikk ikke like til. Like bra til.
Nei, for å si det sånn, liksom Oracle of Ages og Seasons Zelda er mye bedre.
Ja.
Sånn type spill.
Det er ikke tull engang.
Men ja, vi kan jo snakke litt om remaken til spillet da, som kom til Xbox, den første Xboxen. Det kom i 2005. Og Evola, du kan fortelle litt kort om historien bak det spillet, for det er ganske rart. Plutselig så fant ut at jeg skulle remake Conker's Bad for deg 4 år etterpå.
Originalideen var vel at de skulle ha sequel, var det ikke det?
Ja, det var jo egentlig planen.
Conker's Other Bad Day, tror jeg det heter. Av merkelig grunn, så jeg vet ikke hvorfor det aldri skjedde.
Nei, jeg tror vi snakker litt om det intervjuet, så det blir litt mer utdypt der, men
i stedet for å lage et litt mer sensurerte versjon av
ja,
originale.
For poenget med spillet at det skulle være et usensurert versjon av Conker's Bad for deg, med mye bedre grafikk og greier, og
så ble det
all
enda
the
mer
bells and
sensurert.
whistles. Ja, i stedet for så blir det en veldig pretty versjon av Conker's Bad for deg, der det er veldig sensurert.
Ja.
Det er til og med sensurert Great Mighty Poo-kampen.
Da mister du mye av meningen av selve spillet.
Men Chris selv mente at dette var det beste versjonen av spillet, så
Ja, men
folk skulle spille.
Jeg er helt enig, det er den beste versjonen av spillet hvis det ikke hadde vært sensurert.
Ja.
Det er det eneste som gjør spillet dårligere.
Ja, spørs, men det er jo sånn som South Park. Litt av humoren er jo den pipingen også, da.
Ja, men ikke midt i Great Mighty Poo-sangen.
Nei, det funker ikke.
Jeg synes det er litt artig med disse pip, og du forstår hva de skal si.
Og så likte jeg, han hadde cranket reverben litt for mye opp. Jeg forstår at det...
Ja, stemmer, jeg husker det. Det høres helt...
Ja,
det liksom... Jeg forstår greier, men sangen høres ikke like bra ut med all den reverben. Det blir litt for mye.
Jeg tror han prøvde å få det til å høres litt mer ut som dass, men...
Ja.
Det høres litt feil ut.
Ja, det er liksom... Det er litt sånn... Jeg får litt øresus av det.
Det høres ut som han står og synger sangen i et svært tomt operahus.
Ja.
Og du hører han på lang avstand.
Ja, ikke sant?
Ekko.
Det er det høres ut som. Så det kunne egentlig bare lagt litt sånn... Litt reverb, men det ble litt for mye.
Ja.
Jeg eide faktisk Conker på Xbox.
Nice.
Så jeg runder det på Xbox også. Og ja, det er utrolig pent spill.
Jeg husker bare multiplayer-delen, for jeg spilte hos en kompis.
Ja, det var jo en multiplayer-del også, som var en slags pseudo-sequel til Conker's Bad for deg.
Det var faktisk veldig bra.
Ja, den multiplayer var ganske kul.
Ja, det er på en måte litt underrated remaster og remake, da.
Dessverre så kan du ikke spille den lenger.
Nei,
Du kan fortsatt spille med bots, da.
det er jo ikke like kjekt.
Noen av modusene. Ja, det er sant. Multiplayeren i 64-versjonen var bedre, da. Vi har ikke snakket om det. Multiplayeren i Conker's Bad for deg 64.
Var
utrolig kul. Ja.
Jeg har ikke spilt det så grella mye da, men...
Nei, det må vi få spilt en dag
Ja.
i kveld spille der, for det er utrolig artig.
Jeg husker multiplayer-delen på DK64 også.
Ja, det husker jeg ikke her da.
Det er ganske litt der du skyter hverandre og sånn.
Ok. For det var masse kule moduser i 64-versjonen.
Ja.
Og jeg synes det faktisk var artigere enn multiplayeren i Xbox-versjonen som var fokusert på multiplayer. For de hadde ikke med noen av de modusene fra 64-versjonen.
Det er ganske drit.
Hadde de hatt med alt det fra 64-versjonen i tillegg, så hadde det vært den beste multiplayeren.
De må alltid fucke opp noe, vet du.
Ja. Men ja, jeg eide det på Xbox, og det var knall å spille det igjen i skikkelig pen grafikk. Og det som er artig med det spillet nå, at det er ute på Xbox One.
Oi.
Og hvis du kjøper det på Xbox One X, så får du spille det i 4K. Og de har forbedret grafikken litt. De har ikke addet widescreen, dessverre.
Da bruker maskinen enda mer.
Men du kan spille det i 4K med god anti-aliasing.
Oi.
Du kan bare strekke det ut, så blir det...
Det blir det også. Det kan du også gjøre. Men spillet ser utrolig lekkert ut, så jeg har egentlig lyst til å kjøpe en Xbox One X bare for å spille det nesten.
Som streamingbox.
Ja. Det er masse spill jeg egentlig lyst på Xbox One X, men det er sånn hoved liksom tingen som trekker meg nærmere og nærmere konsolen, liksom, for jeg har lyst til å spille det igjen i...
Kjøpe en ny fancy konsol for å spille.
Ja, ikke sant? 4K. Nice.
Det er så meningen med nye konsoler, vet du. Remakes, remaster.
Stemmer det. Spille de gode gamle slagerne i...
HD.
Og du kan også spille 64-versjonen også i Rare Replay til Xbox One. Som er en dårlig emulert versjon av Bad for Day. Altså, det er ikke dårlig, men de har liksom ikke puttet på noe spesielt anti-aliasing eller noen ting.
Nei.
Ingenting nytt. Det var sånn...
Litt rart at den... Oi, skal du snakke for det?
Nei, jeg har ikke noe mer, altså.
Det er litt rart at den utvidelsen det spillet fikk 18-årsgrense bare på grunn av Conker. Alle andre spiller sånn skikkelig familievennlig.
Ja, stemmer det.
Jævlig random.
Det er litt artig.
Så bare sånn 18 år, what?
Det er sånn, what?
Men jeg vil spille Banjo-Kazooie.
Ja, ikke sant?
18 år for barnspill.
Det er dumt at de aldri har gitt den treatmenten til originale Conker's Bad for Day som Banjo-Kazooie og 2 fikk på 360 år replay, fordi de versjonen er jo definitiv versjon av de to spillene. Perfect Dark også, faktisk. Det er jo litt trist, så jeg håper at en gang i fremtiden at de kan gjøre det, for det hadde vært fantastisk. Eventuelt gi ut Xbox-versjonen i widescreen, usensurert.
Får bare det.
Det hadde vært kult. Please, de gjør det. Vær så snill.
Får de gjøre det med Seinfeld.
Ja, please do it. Ja, Seinfeld i widescreen HD er faktisk jævlig kult. Jeg har faktisk sett alt av Seinfeld igjen, og bare på grunn av det. Det var verdt det. Det var dritkult å se det i HD og widescreen, liksom.
Evig replay value.
Så hvis du aldri har spilt Conker's Bad for Day eller Conker's 11 Reloaded som heter på Xbox, så anbefaler jeg å... Jeg vil ikke si at jeg anbefaler å emulere det, for det gjør jeg ikke, men...
Du kan prøve.
Jeg skal ikke anbefale noen å emulere, men det er faktisk den beste måten å spille 64-versjonen på fortsatt. Dessverre er faktisk å emulere det. Men hvis du skal spille på lovlig vis, så anbefaler jeg å kjøpe Rare Replay. Det er den beste måten å spille spillet på, med mindre du vil punge 2000 kroner for 64-versjonen. Da har du mye penger.
Og litt liv.
Ja, jeg vil heller kjøp Rare Replay. Du får masse andre utrolig bra spill også. Banjo-Kazooie Banjo og Perfect Dark. Alt det der. Men ja, og så har du jo selvfølgelig 11 Reloaded på Xbox One og Xbox One X, som du kan kjøpe digitalt. Det koster 100 kroner. Så
kjøp.
Ja, og Rare Replay koster rett under 200 kroner.
Nice, med 30 spill.
Så
bra vel.
Ja.
Men du får ikke Donkey Kong Country eller Goldmine.
Du må være 18 år for å kjøpe det.
18 år for Donkey Kong Country.
Vi kan jo før vi går videre til det fantastiske intervjuet med Chris Marlow, som er voice actor for The Great Mighty Poo.
Faen, jeg gleder meg.
Ja, det blir gøy, hæ?
Han kommer snart inn nå.
Ja.
Han venter ut forbi.
Ja,
Han står ut forbi og fryser nå. Jeg sender godt hjem.
En fun fact. Han liker ikke nøtter, fant vi ut.
Oi.
Jeg synes det var litt ironisk å tenke på at han liker ikke nøtter, så han spiller den mest kjent for et spill om et ekorn som liker nøtter.
Men det var ingen...
Og sjokolade. Han liker nøtter og sjokolade.
Er det kanskje derfor det ikke hadde nøtter med, men sjokolade i stedet for?
Ja.
Kanskje det.
Kanskje det.
Chestnuts.
Ja, men det var bare en tullete fun fact. Men uansett, vi kan avslutte med en liten kort ting, og det er jo selvfølgelig...
Pikken til Erik.
Hæ?
What?
kort ting.
Ikke så kort, da. Jeg er jo lengst her, vet du.
Jeg bare tuller, jeg vet ikke hvor lang han er.
Søt og liten.
Jeg er jo lengst her, så derfor min lengst.
Nei, jeg tror ikke sånn det fungerer. Jeg har størst føtter og hender her, så min er lengst. Det er ikke sånn det fungerer.
Nei.
Det er bare en måte å finne ut på.
Ja, ikke sant? Ja, nå skal vi sammenligne.
Derfor er det linjal her inne.
Nei, vet du hva, det siste jeg hadde lyst til å avslutte med var rett og slett, har dere en favorittlåt for spillet?
Å, herregud.
Den første du hører når du kommer inn i året.
Ja, Windy.
Stemmer. Den sitter alltid fast i hjernen.
Ja.
Den kommer jeg på med en gang jeg tenker Conker. Jeg husker jeg og Erik brukte den på et filmprosjekt når vi gikk på videregående.
The trip to the kick coke machine.
Den filmen har jeg på YouTube.
Nei, jeg skal slutte. Unnskyld. Ja, det er nok min favorittsang fra spillet. Den og Great Mighty Poo, selvfølgelig. Og den der denne house-sangen når du er på det der diskoteket med de der steinfolka.
Sopranos, eller hva dette?
Nei.
Jeg vet ikke hva du mener, men jeg husker ikke hva den heter.
Den heter så mye som Rock Solid heter sangen.
Det var det, ja.
Rock Solid.
Vet du hva for min favoritt er?
Så de tre er mine favoritter fra spillet. Ingen bryr seg om din favoritt.
Ja, men min favoritt fra spillet har litt... Det er noe rart med den.
Ja, kan jeg fortelle?
Du vet når du er på surfebord på lavaen.
Ja, den ser litt kul.
Vet du hva den der ripper av?
Nei, hva da?
Jins intimusikk for Tekken 3.
Er det det?
Ja.
Det er random. Hvorfor gjorde de det?
Jeg har ikke peiling, de har ikke sagt noe om når du hører på det, så er det akkurat likt.
Hvorfor spurte vi ikke om... Hvorfor sa ikke du det når vi intervjuet han?
Ja, men han lagde jo ikke musikken til spillet da.
Han kunne jo spurt han.
Ja. Det hadde jeg spurt om.
Jins intimusikk for Tekken 3 er helt like han. Lava Surfride, Conker et eller annet. Det er så jævlig rart at de ripper absolutt den.
Så hvis du liker videospillmusikk, så sjekk ut disse 4 sangene.
Ja, du vet.
Ja. Men nå tror jeg vi går videre til intervjuet.
Før han fryser til døde der ute.
Ja. Så avslutter vi bare med det, og så sier vi bare hei og hå og ha det bra.
Hiv og hå. Hei ho.
Så ha det bra, folkens. See you guys next time. Og her har vi intervjuet med Chris Marlow.
Velkommen.
Hei, det er Chris.
Hello, is Chris Marlow.
Vi må gi credit da. Thomas filmet det. Så han fikk veldig vondt i hånda å holde det der selfie-stikken i en fuckings time.
Derfor det er så shaky.
Problemet når vi hadde intervjuet, så hadde vi ikke tenkt å ha med kamerastativ.
Nei, det må vi ta med neste gang, for jeg visste ikke du hadde det.
Og så intervjuene varte lenger enn det forventet, så jeg satt basically over en time og holdt et jævla selfie-stikk.
Vi hadde aldri trodd at vi skulle få nesten en time langt intervju med han, så det hadde vi aldri trodd. Det var ikke planlagt. Men her er i alle fall intervjuet, så kos dere.
Hello, I'm Chris Marlow. Nei.
Det holder nå. Ha det!
Ha det. Hei da.
I'm Andreas Sola, and you're listening to Sola and Cola. And we're here today with Chris Marlow.
Hi.
So, you still work at Rare?
I do. 22 years.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah. How did you get a job at Rare originally?
Well, I was at university in Bath. I was doing my final year there, and back then there wasn't a huge... Well, there was internet, but there wasn't huge websites and things like that. I'd only just realised there was even the possibility of video games as a job. It was like kind of it just wasn't a thing that you did. You went and did a serious job. But there was someone I met at university who said, "Oh, I'm going to go into video games." I'm like, "What? That's an option? That's something I can do." So then I got a copy of Edge magazine.
Yeah.
And went through all the adverts in the back of Edge, going through all the companies. And back then we had you could go outside and use a public phone, because it was before mobile phones or anything like that. So it was you could go to the mobile the phone box outside, and directory inquiries, which was the telephone service that allows you to phone up and look up numbers and all this kind of stuff, allowed you to do 3 for free. So you phone it up, didn't have to pay anything. 3 numbers. So I constantly rang back mobile, went through all the lists of all the companies one by one, until the point, because there was only a few operators who did it, they got to know my voice and they started getting really wound up. Because my problem was, I didn't really know whether the company was in the UK or not.
Oh.
So I'd be going, yeah, it's a company called this, it's a company called that. And it turns out it was in like Santa Monica or something like that. And they're going, well, we can't find it. Go, keep looking. It should be. I'm not sure if it's in Britain. So I went through all the companies. I just got as many addresses and telephone numbers as I could and phoned up and just applied everywhere all around the country. So I did Rare, I did Bullfrog, Diagnosis, all sort of the companies big and small, plus other places. So I applied for, and I actually got offered the job for McAfee antivirus down in London.
Oh.
So I'd done an interview down there, did my interview for Rare, interview for McAfee, and I'd been given the job offer for McAfee, so I was that close to writing antivirus software down in London. But I was holding off because I thought I knew I'd love the idea of working for Rare.
Yeah.
And I was just holding off. Said, I've got the job into it. I'll wait, and then finally got that letter. We've given you the job.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Had you ever heard about Rare before?
Well, you see, I was a massive Ultimate Play the Game fan.
Oh,
I was a huge fan. I had a Spectrum. My first 4 games were all Ultimate games. It was like Psst, Jetpack, Trans Am, and Cookie. They were my 4 games that just come. I don't know whether it was because it was Twycross, it was nearby, and it was a nearby company, and that's how I happened. Because I wasn't involved in it. I was like 14, 12.
Yeah. 12,
13. So yeah, that's what age when I got my first Spectrum, and got these tapes. I knew I loved the Ultimate games. I got every single one. My favourite company. But I didn't know Rare was Ultimate. I didn't make that connection at all. I didn't know they did, because I never had Nintendo. I never had NES or SNES or anything like that. I went Spectrum, Amiga, so that was my way up through. So I missed the whole console generation out as a kid. So when I came for the interview, I was looking around the walls and went, oh my god, this is Ultimate Play the Game. I had no idea until I was there. I was done with the interview and I said, oh my god, this is like my favourite company ever.
Wow.
Because I thought, oh man, this is cool. And it was Donkey Kong, and they were doing all the real cool CG stuff. They had this beautiful brochure that they gave out that had what the company was about and all this kind of stuff that came with the interview.
Yeah.
But at no point did it mention Ultimate until you look, because when you went for the interview in the room, you sat down in reception, and in reception they had every single game that they'd made, the boxes of it all. Yeah. And it wasn't until I was saying, I was casting my eye around. Probably good job I was fanboyed all over the oh my god.
So that's why you still work at Rare, because of that?
Well, yeah, I mean,
because you're a fan.
Yeah, I was just a total fanboy. Don't do any work, I just sit there making cups of tea. But no, it was I mean, I loved working there, and then as I say, we just went straight. I was in the last couple of months of Killer Instinct Gold, which was the first game I worked on. Didn't really do a lot on it. It was just finding our feet. And there was me, and then Sean Pyle turned up 6 weeks later. We were kind of the new boys who were on the same team together, because it tended to be there was several people who started around that sort of time, but because it was like the secret silo teams, if you weren't with them, they were like they all like Stephen Ellis started around, who went on GoldenEye and then went on to Free Rads. And he started about the same time as us. Yeah. But he disappeared off into GoldenEye, didn't see them, and then everyone disappeared. But I was with Sean, and then we shared an office together. So we started together, and we were just there left with a manual this thick, Ultra 64 programming manual. Go and do something. go and make a demo of some kind, and we all sort of go, oh my god. So.
But by the way, the original Conker game, was it ever completed, or was it finished? The one that wasn't released?
Never completed. We did a huge amount of work on that game.
Yeah,
we had so many levels and so many. It was a very deeply written game. It was too. It was a complete game, as in most of the mechanics were there. We had tons of assets and levels, but they were only ever bits. Like
Yeah.
You've seen all the screenshots out there. There was like a gladiator level, which
Yeah.
never really got finished. That was the gladiator level. There was some levels had loads of work on it, and some levels didn't. And there was like the gladiator level, for example, was pretty much just the track. We had a track running around the outside.
Yeah.
You were being chased by a 3-headed Cerebus dog, and we had these things that slid in and out that would just knock you off the path.
Yeah.
And that was very rough. We had the Centurion version of Conker with his little helmet on. But other ones like the start levels, the wooded level, the Wild West level had a ton of work on it. So that was one where you're in like the prison and you had to use it. At the time, you had like a dig, and you could appear out the other side, and you could tunnel underground for a little bit, and that's how you got out of the prison cells. You could dig through the like the certain parts of the earth. We had rocks falling over. We had there's lots of really cool mechanics. I mean, Mark Betteridge was doing all the motion control, and he is like a savant genius. He's at movement of a character, of a video game character. He was just like the best in the world. He'd just sit there and go grind. Does that feel right? Does that feel? I have all these little counters going up and down and going. This counter ticks to 5. If this counter's ticked down to 3, if I set that to 3 and that to 7, and that means I'll increase the turn. I always remember he did a hoverboard, which became the hoverboard in the lava race.
Oh.
But you never really saw what it could do because we restricted it to forward. But the original thing of that was just a hoverboard, Marty McFly style hoverboard.
Yeah.
And you jump onto it, and you had this lovely,
all
done in code. There was very little animations on it, and you could just zip around on it. But it had this lovely mechanic. If you turn quite hard, it would like dig in, and everything just felt right.
Yeah.
And we had all little things with the dinosaurs that were like stuff out of the Jurassic Park, with those little things which chase after you if you're not looking at them, but you turn around and sit down and sway. But if you turned your back and they come in closer.
Yeah.
I had tons and tons of little bits like that, but it was never a cohesive whole. They were bits.
Okay.
We'd like have a big game and like here's a little mini game and here's a little mini game and here's a little mini game.
But
there was no
yeah.
thrust. There was no driving dramatic arc to it. So we were 2.5 years in, and it still felt like there was a long way to turn that into a final game. We've kind of retired from doing it. It had been a long time into it, and we still knew there was a long way. It looked great.
Yeah.
And there's lots of bits in it, but nothing was at the right stage, and we felt like there's another couple of years to get this thing done that really needed to make it.
Yeah.
And then we go, and it's just another cutie platformer. And there was
the Banjo team ripped you guys off.
well, I don't know that, but yeah. There was one point when, because we all sorts of stuff at the same time, and they were all brought in and it was very rare for a barn to go into another barn and look at the tech. But there was one point when they were all pulled in and went, look, this is how you need to be. I don't know what they were. We never saw the bit that they were working on, but they came in and said, look, the team said that you see this? This is what that game should be looking like, because this looks great.
Yeah.
Do more like this. And then disappeared off and made Banjo. So that's why they're kind of similar, but once again written by completely independently by two different teams.
Yeah.
But there is a core, because they were like the pirate game sort of dream.
Yeah.
Side scrolly sort of 2.5D sort of pirate game. So I don't know how much Banjo was going that way, but we'd gone full 3D, because this was the big step. It's the first 3D the company had done, proper 3D.
Yeah.
And that's where all the new blood had come in, because they were, before it was all 2D and assembly, and now we're moving to C, we're moving to 3D mathematics. Ultra 64, it was all 3D. Mario 64 had just come out, which was a big influence of ours. We looked at that game a lot.
Yeah.
A lot, because that a video game, they, for a first go at a 3D game, they not even homework. They knocked that thing out of the park.
Yeah.
And it was such a high benchmark to even be going, we've got to be at least as good as that.
Yeah.
At least. Because that is amazing. And they're already out. we've got to do even more on it. But so we looked at that a lot as a source of inspiration of just how a character should feel, how should 3D work, how should the camera work, and all this stuff. Because they'd answered an awful lot of questions.
Yeah.
There's bits going, well, we do that slightly differently, but there's so much clever stuff going on that you just play it and you go, well, it's just doing that. But you go, well, when you dip over a hill, the camera's just adjusting behind it, and how are they doing that? And they must be like raycasting down and doing all this sort of extra clever tech. So, but yes, and Banjo went off, and very successfully managed to take the German idea, but I'm happy I worked on the game I did.
Yeah, but like, does there exist like an alpha version or something at Rare or Microsoft? Like,
there must be.
Yeah, locked away.
The problem is the carts that we used to burn the versions on, because I mean, there was me and Sean and a few others on that E3. I can't remember E3 90. The E3 where we showed GoldenEye was there. We were there. 12 Tales was
97 or
something like that.
Maybe
98.
Yeah, maybe.
Might be 98 because that's right. Because I started in 96 and 2.5 years in. That sounds about right. But that E3, which is quite a very special E3, GoldenEye was riding high.
Yeah.
And we were riding rather low because we showed. But it was like, something needs to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's just not, it wasn't flowing as it should be. We had a lot of really cool stuff, but it just didn't have that cohesive whole. And that's when Chris Seaver came on as designer, and well, initially Tim came on as well. They said, Tim was on there. He designed some of the early missions. He got some stuff down on paper. But not the way they were. He just went. I think he had the idea of the wasp retrieving the hive and maybe the sunflower.
Yeah.
But Tim's design was you go and get the beehive and you drop it back. The sunflower was you do this and it opens up 3 petals, and 3 sunflowers, you open up 3 petals, you jump on each one and you get kind of traditional Banjo-y style missions. Great, we designed them, we had them all printed out. So we did the first one with the wasp returning and dropped the beehive back, and I'm sure it was probably Chris who just went, it'd be funny if Big Gun came out and just shot them on the way out in the back as they were escaping. Wouldn't that be funny? We went, that'd be quite funny. And so we did that. We had that thing, and we did that scene with the wasp being shot, and it was like, and then Tim had to come down and go, yeah, we've done it, Tim. What do you think to this? Is this going to be? Are you happy with this? And unfortunately, Tim just watched it, and just laughed his ass off, and then went, just do more of that.
Yeah.
That is something new. That is something fresh. Do more of that. And we certainly did.
Yeah.
Once again, so there was some stuff that he designed, and then Chris took it, adapted it, and then just went on and did the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And so the sunflower obviously went from being 3 sunflowers that open traditionally like that to Chris's twist on it, where he was like, oh, it's just a big set of tits jump up and down on. But everyone crafted everything. Like Mark B would sit on there and he got that timing to get the 3 bounces to get just have to get the right timing. It had all his attention to detail on all the little things, but with Chris's dirty mind on, and it was just so fresh after the 2.5 years slog of the game. It was a ball. We were laughing, we were having fun, and we were just enjoying doing it, and we just got that new injection of energy. And it's interesting because you see it rippling out from the start of Conker. It's still fairly traditional. Okay, it's got some funny bits in there, but it doesn't go crazy. It's not tons of. Then I think the first movie reference was when we did. I mean, it started getting really edgy when we started doing like the pitchfork and all that kind of stuff in there, and we go, let's see how far we can push that. And then we had the because I think originally he like the can was going to have a Ku Klux Klan.
Oh yeah, I think I read that. Yeah.
And they had to take that out and became an executioner's hat. But it was like there was times we had to like pull back a little bit on stuff. But I think for a while it was the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
Because they were all deep south. Sort of that was this sort of stereotype on there. Every idiot southerner who he's trying to hang himself, which was pretty dark to begin with, but he's got no neck. He's being taunted into suicide, basically. Going like, a bit edgy. Like I think the first one was like we had all the haystacks doing their stuff, and then Chris said, "Oh, wouldn't it be funny like burn away and actually the big surprise is he's a robot?" And then we said he's a robot, and Chris loves films and he knows all the films inside and out. He said, "Well, I want it to look like the scene in Terminator where you see all that stuff." And then we had all the comedy versions of the rude words, and it was like "buff you asshole" and all this kind of stuff being added into the corner. And when we did that, suddenly it was going, oh, it's quite funny that we did a movie reference in it. And Chris uses inspiration from all over the shop, and he has a vast encyclopedic knowledge of films. So he just went, and then he just started throwing more and more, and he used it as a visual. It also helped him describe how he wants a sound, or he wants a style, or a feel. And I'll go, it's like, I want that sound, but I want the sound to sound like, when they're walking out of they're out the corridor at the start of Alien, and they're walking into the alien mothership, and they're just walking down that one corridor. I'm going, what are you talking about? And then we get the DVD out and go, oh yeah. But he'd remember exactly what he'd be able to pick a sound from a scene.
Yeah.
Go, I want it to sound like that, or to feel like that, or that should do like that. And that's what he was brilliant at. So, he had so much source material and things like that to go off, and then he'd go off and record all the audio, and he'd have a laugh he'd disappear off and have a laugh in the recording studio and just improvise. He'd have a vague idea where they wanted stuff to go, but they'd have and they'd record it, but they had a vague script, an idea of where something should go, and then they just messed around for like hours in the recording studio and come back, and finally Robin would have edited something usable together out of it all. And then we take that and we all huddle around and we get the new audio. Oh, I've done the new audio. Oh, yeah, the new scene. And then it would disappear after the cutscene guys. I was heavily involved in making the cutscene editor usable. So I did loads of work on getting that cutscene editor. It was probably one of the most advanced cutscene editors in a video game.
Yeah, it was very impressive.
Yeah, it was the first one that game cutscenes used to be literally camera starts here, it pans to here. Camera starts here, it pans to here. So everything was very swoopy, and things did very simple things, or they were already scripted. This was a proper full cutscene editor where the camera could swoop, and every player was on a spline, and they had exact controls over the animations and the speed of it. We did all the voice and all the phonetic parts of the facial animation. We could control Conker's eyes, exactly where they went, and and it got better and better as we developed it. But it was a super powerful cutscene editor, and it was done for the very first time artist-centric, as in this is the person who has to use it. Almost everything that you do in a cutscene editor, there's like a few different ways you can do it.
Yeah.
And the way that's easiest for the programmer to do it is always the worst way for the artist. The way the artist wants to use it is always the complete ball ache way for you to do it. You go, God, you know how hard that is. But it means they can use it. Like, for example, as we went down the animation track, and we had the it was like, you go, here's the animation track for a character walking on, and I said, well, every time you drop this thing on the animation track, it's the animation. So this is animation, start walk, and then here's do the stop animation. So I said, well, I'll just download an animation track. This is the animation you want to play, and this is the speed you want to play it at, because that's what I called in code. I called play animation at this speed. Yeah. But they went, oh, no, what we want to do is be able to say, I start this animation here, and then I can drag this around, and it needs to work out. So we had to work out what the animation playback speed needed to be so that it worked between those 2 points. Yeah. You see what I mean? So, like, if I put it here and here, it's quite quick. But if I pulled it and I want him to stop there, and I don't want to work out that is play rate 1.3796 to make sure I hit that point. And they shouldn't have to. They should just be able to go animation here, animation here, animation here, and the code goes and works it all out for them and says, well, actually, you mean play this animation at this playback speed. Yeah. So that means that they'll move forward without sliding on the ground, and for all the different interesting shots. Yeah. And we had quite complex ways of having multiple different camera shots, and you could flick camera, and they could set up like 7, 8, 9, just like a movie set. Yeah. We'd set up all the different cameras, all the different shots types, and they could sequence between camera 1, camera 2, camera 5, camera 2, camera 3, whatever. Yeah. And so that it was really powerful, and we managed to really just do some quite impressive looking cutscenes with it.
Yeah. But how was the Great Mighty Poo created, or should I say, shout out?
Yeah. Well, we discussed about that a lot this weekend, about the exact where that came from. We think we watched a lot of South Park, because South Park was big at the time. It only just come out. And it was the closest thing to what we were doing. It was this edgy humour, and it inspired us, because we were going, well, if they can get away with it, then we can get away with it. And that had a famous Pooh character in it called Mr. Hankey, and I think probably there must have been something in there where we were watching that and going, oh, that's quite funny. They're getting away with putting a living poo on the screen and getting away with it.
Yeah.
Wonder if we can do something similar like that, but bigger and better. And then at the same time, Chris knew that I was into opera singing, and
and you still do it, right?
Yeah, I still do. I've been I do a couple of operas a year for almost 15 years now. I've been all the major baritone parts in just all the big famous. It's only amateur stuff, but it's but I love doing it, and he knew that I did it.
Yeah.
And he always used the talents within the team where possible. And he decided he wanted this musical number. He always thought, well, Chris does that. We should have an operatic number in the game. He decided to have the Pooh Boss.
Yeah.
And then the two things just came to his head. Oh, well, we should do this here, where he's a singing Pooh Boss monster. And then he had to have the conversation with me. He went, well, Chris, you fancy singing in the game? And I said, yeah, that sounds great. He said, well, it will be a large piece of poo that you're singing from. I was going, right. Yeah, that's fine. Go on then. And then we just spent an afternoon in the recording studio, recorded all the bits down, all the speech part for it as well, like because it's got a famous speech from the end of Wizard of Oz that the witch at the end of the Wizard of Oz, her speech from that I had to record and just change slightly things. So that was great, fun day. And then of course all the gameplay had to be written for it, but I love that whole section. So I think it's such a unique, and it's lovely to all these years after still get referred to as a great. It's always in like the top 10 boss battles in video, because it's so different. It's just it's nothing like it.
It's probably the funniest boss battles I've ever played.
Brilliant, yeah. I mean, it's just so unlike anything else.
Yeah,
and a lot of the game, there's so many things in Conker that's just. It's just been that perfect moment in time where it's like, that may never happen again, but it's just that little perfect moment where you're going, there was just this bubble of insanity in Twycross that just was allowed to happen for 2 or 3 years, and it produced that.
Yeah. Do you have any other funny stories from making the Conker games?
Oh, many.
Can you tell me one of them?
Well, I guess there's there's all sorts of stuff. We had moments when I remember Louise Ridgway, who did loads of it. She was an animator on Conker and also did all the voices of all the female characters, Berry and whatnot.
Yeah.
She was doing she was playing through, and she was trying to do it just whilst testing towards the end of the game. She was playing through the game and got up to the lava race section, and she was determined to do this playthrough all the way through, and she just did it over. And then should she do this lava race level? She did it over, and she was screaming in a finest Irish accent over every profanity under the sun, and then she like rage quit and like wandered off like that. I just came in, because we've been playing the hell out of it, just went, shh, played the level 4 and got through to the next section and walked off. And then she came back, I just went, oh, just finish that level for you. She about killed me. She went, yeah! I tell you, I wanted to finish that level by myself.
Yeah, that level is very hard.
It was a tough level. In fact, I'm sure it got extra hard in the last week. It wasn't as hard as that, and then something changed.
Oh.
You know how these things happen when there's a bug that's happened and it was changed. It probably a bug that fixed something and it changed that. Because we all came out and went, it's a bit tougher than I remember it being. It's out now. It's gone. So apologies for the lava race section. I think it's actually twice as hard as I think. Something changed. Something really subtle changed. I still have no idea what changed it. But we also went, yeah, it's a bit tougher than I remember. Oh well, give us something to do.
Do people often ask you to sing the Great Mighty Poo song, like in public or anything?
Yeah,
like,
it's not. I mean, it's not like I do it every week, but it's especially when I meet fans and things like that.
Yeah.
There's that, we've had studio visits where people came. Where they did. We did the Play It First competition for Sea of Thieves. Where there was a competition for everyone putting artwork and things like that, various different video presentations, and we chose some prize winners to come around and actually play the very early build of Sea of Thieves.
Oh.
And they got studio visit and all that kind of stuff, which was great. Really fun 2 or 3 days. And I'd already been pre-warned on the first day when they were doing like the studio tour. They said, "We're going to ask you to sing the Great Mighty Poo because they're really big fans." You're right to do it. And I just stood up and I sang it. I had to sing it like in the office. It was really weird in front of everybody else. They all came around and I was just singing the Great Mighty Poo song. And then but there's some lovely people that I met on there. And later on we were having dinner. I think I did it again for them because they wanted to have it. Yeah, Mandy and Jeffrey, they were lovely. But Mandy said, "Can we get a video?" So I did a selfie and just. I said, "Well, I'm only going to do it if you're going to be in the video with me." So I was like, I held her. We did that as well. But yeah, and then when people find out, I'll drop a line just to.
Yeah.
Did it a few times at the conference, but of course on this conference I got to sing it live
with
a band, which I've never done before. So that's like a first time ever for that.
Was really cool.
Band. Oh, you enjoy it? Yeah, it was good fun to do.
Yeah, it was legendary.
And then the idea of having those toilet rolls thrown at me right at the very end, it was a perfect ending to it.
Yeah, I was really surprised because I didn't know about that. So
I didn't know about it until 5 minutes before going on.
Oh, really?
And it was literally they going, well... It was David Doak's fault. He was the one who... It was his idea. So,
really?
Yeah, we should throw some baby bog roll at him. So I went... And the council went, well, we've got an idea. I just thought we'd put it by you and see what you think. And if you like it, it was my idea. And if you don't like it, it was David Doak's idea. And they said, "Well, I've got this idea. We've got all this toilet paper." I said, "Right, okay, is that for me to throw or to be thrown at me?" And said, "Well, it's to be thrown at you." I said, "Well, that makes the most amount of sense."
Yeah.
I went, "Oh yeah, okay, go on there. They'll be fine. Just, I'm sure it'll be fine." And they said, "Oh, thank God you said that. I brought 50. Carry this great big thing of 50 toilet rolls." I went, "Oh, okay." And then, I mean, this was literally 5 minutes before going on, and then all I could see was all staff with toilet rolls stuck in their pockets like that. I was going, "Oh,
yeah."
And they hadn't practiced it at all, so they hadn't practiced to see whether it would. Because it's quite hard to throw a toilet roll and make it do that.
Yeah.
Because you got to hold onto a bit of it and throw it and not hold it too tight so it just drops or it doesn't look like they've just thrown just thrown these things. But they did it beautifully. That trajectory just looked amazing. So I was very pleased with it.
And just for fun, do you have any favorite movies and video games?
Oh, well, video games. I love the a similar style of game. So the Batman, Arkham City, and a Mad Max. I loved. I completed Arkham City. I completed Mad Max, and I completed Shadow of Mordor. All of them, but they're all similar, sort of that style fight thing that really appeals to me. The open world sort of stuff. I don't have a lot of time to play video games. I'm super busy, but when I do, I kind of get a little bit addicted to them, and I just have to thrash through them. I go, right, got a weekend, I'm not going to sleep, I'll just go through. So those sort of games, and XCOM, I love XCOM. I've loved XCOM since university when it first came out.
Yeah, have you played Mario plus Rabbids?
I have. My son's got it, and I love that. I thought it's great. I mean, it's surprisingly different and surprisingly like XCOM. It was like really... I never thought I'd see like XCOM on a console, but I played XCOM when I was at university, when the first one, when it first came out, and it almost made me fail my first year exams from it, because I was playing that to death. And to the detriment of my revising. And then I came to do my final year exams. XCOM 2 came out. I went, "Oh no! No, I'm going to fail! Don't play it. But so I had to have a bit more dedication, self-control to playing XCOM 2. But yeah, XCOM, that sort of game. And Civilization, that's my other weakness. Another game I played at university, and we'd play till like... It was time to go to the first lecture the next morning. We'd just gone straight through playing Civilization. And so I played the hell out of that, and then I got Civilization 5 just recently. I did exactly the same thing. It was like 4 a.m. going, just go to bed. But I might just sack Carthage first. But it's like one of those sort of games. But yeah, so that's the sort of thing.
So you don't play any like 3D platformers?
3D platform? There's not many to play really, is there? No, I don't play many 3D platforms. I do play with my kids a lot. I mean, I no,
Yeah.
Super Mario World, the one with the when they turn into cats.
Oh, Super Mario 3D World.
3D World,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
played that with the kids.
Yeah.
Love that because I play a lot with the games with the kids.
Yeah,
so
that's a fun game.
I love that. And Rayman Legends
Yeah.
is one of my favorite games ever.
Oh.
It's just what a well put. All the thing with the music, the mariachi,
Yeah.
Eye of the Tiger, I think just a brilliant game and a brilliant set of mechanics that mean when you're playing with younger kids that they can play and feel like they're involved, but they have all that bubble thing and they reappear as a bubble, so it's not punishing. Whereas I play like when I play with it was the Super Mario game that came out on the Wii U as well, but it was in the year of Luigi, and it was Super Mario Brothers 2 or something like that. Anyway,
Yeah, New Super Mario Brothers,
New
whatever.
Super Mario, whatever it was. And Elliot, who's a bit of that's my eldest son. He's a bit of a wizard. He's a Nintendo fanboy, and he'd always just go whoosh like that. Me and he would be like, "Go, don't!" We'd just get killed by the end screen. And we're going, Elliot. He goes, well, you got to play it. You got to hit the timings for Mario. And we go, you're just leaving us behind. But Rayman, you can do that, and you just pop in a bubble and reappear. So I love mechanics that are that work well like that.
Yeah, but like favorite movie? Do you have a
favorite movie? Well, I love a bit of horror, so I loved A Quiet Place just recently, and things like The Babadook and It Follows. Those sort of movies, I love a bit of that. And with the kids, I love all the big Marvel movies, Infinity War and all that kind of stuff. So that's that. Those are the big tentpole movies I'll go and watch at the cinema. So the big spectacle.
Yeah, what do you think about Infinity War? Did you like it?
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it. Dark as hell ending. Sorry, hashtag spoilers. I love. I mean, even though spoilers for Infinity War. Even though they're all going to come back.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah,
they've got films coming up, but I just love they have the balls to do it just once. It was a real gut punch, and I've never had one where we just gone, bloody hell.
Yeah,
it was like,
and that last bit when Thanos got like a happy ending.
He was sitting there chilling, and he got the thing, and and everyone else is just like Peter Parker's death, and it was just really well done, Marvel. Well done. That was great. They really did it well.
And at last, do you have any like a dream project to make? Like maybe a new Conker, or there's also a rumor about a Banjo remake.
Not really. No, I mean, new Conkers, new Banjos. We've discussed this a lot over the weekend, but I think the problem is, I mean, there's other games doing that sort of area. I mean, the problem is if things are a bit. I'm not sure we can ever make anything that anyone would be totally happy with, because it's like maybe we could. It's hard. But, I mean, you've got games like doing things like Hat in Time, which I hear wonderful things about.
It's great.
And you could say that's just your new generation's Banjo. Enjoy that for what it is.
Yeah.
Because. And if you tend to, I mean, you could say, well, let's do Hat of Time, we're going to stick Banjo in it. Or something like that. And that's kind of a modern platformer. It's got great new mechanics. But
like after you saw like the success of like the Crash Bandicoot trilogy, the remake trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, like, we could remake Conker again, but I think we're taking the piss if we did it again. Three times.
No, I mean, maybe not Conker again, but like... Because I saw that you can actually play the Xbox version on Xbox One.
Yeah, I mean, that is great.
And I saw footage of like the Xbox One X, it running on that. And it was like, I think it was running in like 4K or something. Yeah,
it's 4K, and that's a beautiful game.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful game when it came out. It's a beautiful game now.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. We were discussing about, N64 Conker versus the Xbox Conker Live and Reloaded, and there was, when we came to do the Xbox Live and Reloaded, we have the problem that one, there was two problems with it. One, because it was going to be called Live and Uncut, we were going to add some extra scenes into it and do some extra stuff. We had things we wanted to sort out, some of the camera issues and some of the difficulty grading we could do, but we also wanted to add some extra scenes in, maybe add an extra level or something on there.
Yeah.
And the problem was Well, with the swearing, there was a problem that Microsoft had an issue that it was a family platform trying to push for this, and they had official rules. You cannot say shit. We cannot do it. So we're gonna have to add some extra things. That is a shame. I wish we'd push back harder on that, because that's what was one of the big things. And in the end, it was a mature title. But it was new. It was so early on in the Microsoft didn't know. It was so early on in their console side. They didn't really have their footing in and really be sure what they're talking about at that point. Yeah. Much better I imagine if you did this, it would be a much easier conversation.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was hard. So that's a shame. But the other thing was, they're also a very big company, and people like suing them because they've got lots of money. So when it came to, or because of the N64 version, we just didn't ask permission, we just did it. And then eventually Nintendo said, look, we've got our lawyers in on it. As long as under parody law, it's protected, it should be fine.
Yeah. Because
as long as it's shown that it's being used for parody reasons, you don't have to get a license for it. But we had this problem that when we came to actually, like say for example, we had the Matrix level and we wanted to add another Matrix section. There is no way in hell whoever owns the Matrix license would not go, Microsoft's just released the game with... And they said, look, currently, if you don't touch a thing, we are protected by prior art. As in, something's come out and you didn't sue us then, you can't sue us now, it's exactly the same thing. Yeah. But if we changed it, we opened ourselves up to litigation. And Microsoft know, well, they are getting sued all the time because people just went, oh, they've got loads of money. Why not? Let's just give it a go. So if we'd added anything, particularly anything new, but even modifying stuff too far, it just it would have opened us up to litigation. And we were interested in the multiplayer because at the time, Quake Arena was the big game. Yeah. We wanted to make that live. That's what we wanted to do. We didn't particularly want it. But Tim and Chris said, look, Xbox Live, it's not a big enough user base at the moment. Yeah. We want to sell big volumes. We are not doing that without a single player. And we went, oh, we're not writing a new single player as well. It'll take forever. We want to do this live game, so let's port the N64. We don't think it's had its time to shine. It didn't sell as much as it could have done. I think more people should deserve to see it. So we thought we'd just port that and add some extra stuff. At the time we thought that's what we'd be doing, but we didn't, so we couldn't do that. I think the mistakes that we made there were... I honestly think, because the multiplayer we made was... I loved it. I think it's fantastic. And even when it moved on to the Xbox 360 back compat, it was still in the top 10 most played multiplayer Xbox Live title. It was huge, and people loved it, and they played it all the time. It was really, really popular game. Yeah. And so that we nailed, in my opinion. And if we'd, because I've thought about it a lot over the weekend, people ask the questions a lot. I think if we'd have ported the multiplayer from the original Conker as well, as another option, so you had all the old multiplayer,
that would be great,
and maybe make it Xbox Live as well. That's a bit harder, but at least have that ability to play it. Updated graphics, twin stick controls, all that all the latest stuff in there.
Please do that. Please.
if we'd had that, so if we'd have supplied, here's your multiplayer game, here's the retro multiplayer, old style, as part of the port. I'm still not 100% sure why I didn't do that. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. If we'd gone back and we'd done that, and ported the game as in, and managed to get past the there was very little extra beeping in there. It was just, in some of the Great Mighty Poo song or whatever, it was like, it had extra beeping in there. If we'd have done those two things, ported the multiplayer, and not beeped the extra stuff, I honestly think that would be the definitive version of Conker that everyone talked about. Because that game was beautiful.
It was.
It was beautiful.
And
it's still... we should all the time we should be talking Conker Live Reloaded. That is the definitive version of Conker. If you want to play Conker, play that. And we are so close to that being it. And if it's just that for extra little bit of swearing being removed and the multiplayer that everyone loved on there, and this other multiplayer, there's not a question that would have been the definitive version. Totally but right now it's hard because I was asked directly, said, what do you consider the definitive version? And I have to say the N64 version, just because it was a little bit, it's the unfiltered version, and it had the most popular multiplayer. aspects to it, and that's the one that first people fell in love with.
Yeah.
But obviously, when I was lead programmer on Live and Reloaded, and I think we did a fantastic job at it. Had we just thought of adding that extra little thing and pushed back a little harder on the things, I don't think it would be a conversation that people had. It would just be that is the definitive version.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we're not doing it now.
Yeah. and just one last thing. When are you going to fix the Sea of Thieves bugs? Now I'm in the content problem.
Content on Sea of Thieves. Well, it's an interesting question. Well, two answers to that. One, the first big content drop is the end of this month, and that is coming. So that'll be coming in very soon.
Yeah.
We've put very public plans about exactly. We've split up into 3 major gameplay teams, each one working on a 3-month cycle, so that the first team will drop after 1 month, the second will drop after 2.
Yeah.
And obviously that, because we've all started from release at that point, so the first team, it's not going to be the massive drop because they've only had 1 month to write it. The second one, they've only had 2 months to write it. The third team will be the full, we've had 3 months to write this stuff, bang, it's a big release. But then a month after that, you've got Team 1 has spent 3 months on something else, bam, and then Team 2 has spent 3, and you're back into that cycle now, month.
Yeah.
Big 3-month features, bam, 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 coming in. In between that, the idea is every week we're doing iterative bug fixing things, but also little features. I mean, they've talked about Skeleton Thrones being one of them. They're not massive features, but they're just something cool. We'll have an event around it, and you could whatever sit in the Skeleton Thrones, and you get a little bit of something special that makes it something special for that week. And we're also doing, like for the first one, Hungering Deep, we have, not only is it just a new lump of big AI threat in the world, we're packaging it up. I think we missed a bit of a trick on just teasing a bit of mystery into something, because it's very easy to go, we've got to get this done, we've got to get that done, we've got to get this done, and it becomes, you must go and fight a skeleton, you must do this. And we could have done more, making that a bit more mysterious and lore-based and things, and it's still the same thing, but you just tidy it up, and it gives you a bit, because everyone's looking for that more piracy adventure. So this is our first attempt at wrapping it all up. We've got it's like there's a new item to use, and a new this, and these little things all tied together with the big thing that's coming together, and we've tied it in this really cool way of just like teasing it out. And we're going to have we'll build up to it, and the lore gets built into it, and there's so many cool things. I'm really excited, and that's why we're trying to get this nailed quite well, because that'll be kind of a template for how we do more and more of them further on. Of just like, it just makes it a bit more of an experience. So everyone's, it's just fetch, grind, and all this kind of there's a grindy thing to it. That was never the game.
Yeah,
that was a reason to get out in the world. So you're not just dropped on an island and go and make your own fun. It was like, well, we'll give you this. You can go and do this. You can go and fight these. This gives, but that was never the reason to play the game. Never. It never was. This game has been designed from the ground up. I remember we had meetings about it right at the start, and they went, look, here's a bunch of cool things that happened in Daisy. Daisy, supposed to be a game about fighting zombies. Look at all this cool stuff that just emergent stuff that happened. It was nothing to do with the game. Just people met each other, and this funny stuff happened, and we said, that, watchable, shareable. It's that sort of, this is the future for playing video games. It's that kind of human interaction that you can't script. All you can do is give people tools and push them at each other. And magic will happen. And then we spent a lot of time to stop trolling, and I mean, I know there's still trolling in the game. You would not believe how much trolling in the original, I worked on the prototype from the start, 1.5 years on that prototype, and the first 6 months it was brutal. People are terrible to each other. I mean, just for no reason whatsoever, they are just terrible. And I'd even be playing it with my own family. We take little builds home, just have a little go and get more feedback around stuff. And you go, what are you doing? Literally, people run out and stab you in the back and because they're going, because before you get XP for digging up the chest first, but only the person who dug it up. So people have been locking you in the brig and running out and running ahead, and you fight that, and I'm going, look, I'm trying to look after the ship, and the person looking after the ship and doing the due diligence thing lost out on all the stuff because they were running out, and they were shit. And we had game set plus, where everyone worked as a beautiful team together until the treasure got dug up. Then they shot them all in the back of the head and and ran off. And funny, admittedly, if you're the person doing it, not so fun for the person it was being done to. And so we spent months and months and months working on just stuff, and some of the decisions might feel a bit weird, but they're done for really good reasons. And you go, well, you do stuff like this. We used to be able to have you had one or two spades that you could shovels that were just on the ship. You run down and grab them and go. And what would happen is that you'd run out on the island, and we go, "Who brought the shovel? I thought you brought the shovel." Nobody brought the shovel, did they? Or people would just be a dick, and they go, "Right, we take all the shovels, and whilst we were travelling along, we threw them overboard." And the game was, and you've got no money to buy new ones because we haven't dug any treasure up yet.
Yeah.
Soft lock, literal soft lock. We went, unless you got around, and at the time, I think things dropped. You could just kind of randomly drop gold, but and that's not fun.
No.
It sounds fun, but it's not. It really was deeply not fun. It was annoying. And we used to have like a captain's key. And with the captain's cabin, we used to have the doors were shut and could be locked with a captain's key, only the captain's key. So you could run down. So what everyone did, first thing you did was run down, try and get hold of that captain's key, grabbed it, got the captain's key, I'm the captain, and you'd either lock yourself in your room with the treasure or whatever, or you'd wait till someone went in and locked them in. It's kind of like a brig, like which gave us some of the idea of the brig. Lock them in the brig, or once again, you just had a dick who'd turn up and go, lock your captain's door, threw the key overboard. Lost forever.
Forever.
There's no way to get that. And then we were trying to design around it, and we had like a magic monkey chest that was, you'd go to this chest, and after a certain amount of time would allow you to get your key items back, and as if a magic monkey had gone and retrieved it. We tried so many things just to try and make this game work well, and you're seeing the finessed version of it out there now, and still it's hard to stop. I mean, still people have that kind of addiction, but it's a million times better than it was. And we had things like we called it at one point the island of bad ideas, and it was all the items and stuff that we thought were brilliant ideas at the time. We used to have it so that when you fell and sort of hurt your leg and you have that little hobble, you crawled. And you were back to a crawl, and you had to crawl back to the ship until you got some energy, and someone else could pick you up and carry you and all this kind of stuff to try and help you. Sounds fun. Deeply, deeply not. Deeply not fun at all. When you're doing it, it's just really fun. It's like funny once. And then after that, it's just really annoying. So, yeah, it was great we had time on the prototype to be able to finesse so many of those ideas out. But, and there's a bazillion ideas that we had in the prototype, and the Sea of Thieves as it is at the moment is a subset of those ideas. Yeah. But it'll get bigger and bigger and bigger and slowly fill out because we've got tons and tons of ideas. It's just shitty. We had to get that game out. We had, there's only so much money we can afford. We need to get that game done and out. And it's a service game. We've always said this is the start, not the end of this game. Yeah. We'll get something out there so people can start playing it. We've had it in beta for ages, and we were getting loads of positive feedback about it. And we get that game out there so people start having fun, and all we're going to do, and you buy it now, you start having fun straight away, and all that will happen is it's going to get more fun. Add more and more stuff, and it's been it was a brutal slog to get it out to that point. It was a real tough time schedule to hit, and after that we get into this, what we think is an achievable plan to keep getting something significant out every month, and I can't wait to see the game in a year. Yeah. Because I can see how much we can get done in a year. And then, praise be, another year and another year. And each time you'll look back and go, oh my God. But we're having this discussion again. World of Warcraft. Everyone kind of expects it to be the full depth of World of Warcraft now. You look at version 1 of World of Warcraft when it came out. That was rough as hell. And if we had the Twitch, Twitter, Reddit user base that we have now, which is unbelievable compared to even just a few years ago, that ability to have the feedback and that sort of stuff, would World of Warcraft have had that same sort of reaction? Maybe from people going, it's not the game I want it to be, it's not the game I want it to be, this should be doing this, this should be doing it. Everyone has an opinion, and it's a double-edged sword. You can hear every opinion. This is good and bad. It's brilliant because you have this one almost direct contact with your user base, and we can tweak and we can change things. And it's a hard game. It's like you can't tell until you have 1 million people playing your game how it's going to react. You know, we try it, we built it up to, you know, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, 60,000 people.
Yeah.
But we're talking millions of people playing it now, and it's like, that's a lot of opinions. And everyone loves pirates. And everyone has no idea what they want their pirate game to be. And no matter how much we said this is what we're going to give,
yeah,
people still saying, "Oh, it's the single player campaign." We've never said there was going to be a single campaign ever. I need a single player campaign. Well, it's a different. It's not that sort of game. But, or you know, we're all very proud of it, and we've spent a lot of time working on it, and it's a game that everyone's put a lot of love into, and it will only get better. It will only get better, and as we have time to polish, and we have time to polish stuff that's in there, add all this cool new content, and yeah, I think, you know, and there's those people who played it and just say, "Oh, I'll wait for the new content." Sure, that's great. Have 6 months off. Come back in 6 months.
Yeah,
it's fine. This is cool. This is all cool.
Yeah,
don't get het up. We'll still be chuffing that stuff in there, and if you want to come back in 6 months and have another go, that's fantastic. We've had beautiful stories, just the most lovely stories of people saying how much the game's affected them, how much they love that game, but it tends to be the vocal angry minority who shout a lot, who get a lot of the attention.
Always.
But we've had just beautiful stuff coming. I mean, stuff that's almost made us cry. From there was one guy who came in, and his gran had dementia, and she was completely laid out, unresponsive, and he was been sitting there by a bedside one day, and he started up Sea of Thieves, and she used to be, I think she was in the Navy or something like that. She had something. Then suddenly, as he was playing, she was talking. She said, "Oh, that's is that lovely sky?" And she'd come out, whatever it was, something in the game had triggered her out of her dementia, and they had a moment of clarity. Yeah. And he said, I had this hour just sitting, and we played the game. Well, she didn't play it, but you know, she was by the bedside, and we were talking, and I had this moment, and she died the next week. And he said, "Oh, Sea of Thieves, thank you." I would not have had that moment with my grandmother before she died if it had not been for playing that. I just went, oh, you can't get past stuff.
No.
And we had the guy Xbox Addict who died just recently. I'm not sure if you're aware of him. No. He was a big fan of the game. Quite big guy on Twitter, had quite a big Twitter following. He was an ex-service guy. He was in a wheelchair, had been injured, and he was a big fan of the game. And he was early on. And what we'd actually do, he was one of the people that we dropped inside the game. We'd done a little thing for him. And there's a lovely video of he'd come to see it at E3, and there's Joe Neat there nearby, and we'd kind of been ushering, just guiding him without telling him where, kind of just let's go to this island, let's do this, and to try and get him to see his name there. Yeah. And there's this beautiful video of him just playing, and of him seeing it for the first time. No idea. Just went, "Oh my god, I'm in the game. That's really, really cool." And you know, he loved it. It was just a lovely moment. Thought, isn't that nice? And then he died. And I'm not sure who did it how the decision was made, but we changed it in the game for the next drop to be more of a memorial. So we put candles, and we just lit candles around it. Wow. And then people were coming back, and they were paying their respects to him, and they were like taking captain's chests and just leaving it there. Wow. And for something like that to have that sort of effect on me, you're going, well, we're doing something right. We're doing something right at that point, because it means something to have that sort of thing where you know enough to pay respect. Someone's died there. I agree. And that makes all the negative noise that's in the background gets knocked out when you hear those lovely stories coming through, and just other stories of just people having fun. Yeah. And there'll always be people that this game's never for them. Yeah, we can't change them. We can't make that. You can't force them.
That's true.
It's like, I apologise if you spend $60 on it, and or if it wasn't the game for you. We tried to be very clear what the game was. Yeah. But it might be your game in a year. I don't know. You've spent the money now. Come back in a year, have another game. Might be fine by then. Yeah. You might have what you were looking for, because everyone has. It's like getting the new Banjo game. It's like getting the new Conker game. It's getting the new Pirate game. Everyone has no idea of exactly what it is, and there's not a chance in hell that you will get everything right for everybody. You just do what we can to try and make it fun, and listen to feedback, and put more stuff in.
Yeah.
Thank you much for
No problems.
coming.
I start chatting, you see, and I just start talking. You can't stop me.
Ja, Thomas, nå sitter du der i godstolen. Er det du som skal bli intervjuet nå?
Ja, nå skal vi intervjue Per og litt rart å komme her.
Og jeg trodde det var deg vi skulle intervjue.
Ja.
For du,
Hallo!
ja, for du kjennes du.
Nei, det.